Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating moment where raw human psychology collided head-on with absolutely audacious corporate marketing. We spend a ton of time today talking about algorithms, influencers, digital virality, all that stuff. But I want to take you back to a time when going viral required a whole lot more physical effort. And, in this case, a willingness to get a little bit dirty. We're going to look at how a brand fundamentally manipulated our perception of reality, not through a screen, but literally right under our feet. So get ready, because understanding this tactic, it completely changes how you look at the world around you.
Let's just think about this for a second. Can literal trash be a genius marketing strategy? Seriously, normally when we walk down the street and see garbage, our brains just completely filter it out, right? It's an eyesore, a nuisance. It is certainly not something we'd ever associate with high-level, sophisticated brand building. But what if the trash you're stepping over isn't just random debris? What if it's actually a highly calculated, meticulously placed breadcrumb designed to literally hack your brain's decision-making process? I know, it sounds kind of like a conspiracy theory, but it's exactly what happened.
Okay, let's dive into this. Look closely at those crushed, discarded blue and silver cans just sitting there on the wet pavement. Today, obviously, that logo is recognizable literally anywhere in the world. But back in 1994, Red Bull was still desperately trying to claw its way into the mainstream consciousness. Remember, this was way before the era of smartphones, way before you could just pay a TikToker to dance with your product or, run targeted ads. To go viral in 94, you had to physically alter the real-world environment. And Red Bull decided to do exactly that with one of the most legendary and definitely messy guerrilla marketing tactics in history. Their official strategy was incredibly literal, throwing empty cans in crowded places. Just let that sink in for a moment. You have a brand new, highly caffeinated beverage that you really want young, energetic people to drink. So what do? Well, you send teams out to nightclubs, universities, busy downtown intersections, but not just to hand out free samples. No, you send them to systematically drop crushed, empty cans into the streets and into overflowing trash bins. It goes against literally every single rule of traditional public relations. You're deliberately associating your pristine, brand new product with street garbage. So why on earth would they do this?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sneaky, calculated intent behind the stunt. The real genius lies in the second half of that sentence. They weren't just throwing away cans, they were actively planting evidence to make the public believe that everyone was drinking it. This right here is where the sheer brilliance of the stunt reveals itself. It's an absolute masterclass in perception hacking. Think about it. When you're walking into a crowded club and you see, say, 5 empty Red Bull cans on the pavement outside, maybe another 3 stuffed into the ashtray near the door, your brain subconsciously registers a narrative. It tells you, wow, a lot of people were consuming this exact product right here right before I arrived. They weren't actually selling an energy drink in that moment. They were selling the illusion of overwhelming popularity. And this entire stunt relies on one absolutely fundamental psychological principle: social proof. Basically, this is the concept where people assume the actions of others reflect correct or desirable behavior. It's deeply ingrained in our evolutionary biology. We're pack animals. If we see the rest of the tribe running away in one direction, we assume there's a predator and, well, we run too. If we see the tribe eating a specific berry, we assume it's safe and probably delicious. So the really crucial point here is that Red Bull weaponized this biological hardwiring. By artificially creating the physical aftermath of consumption, they completely triggered our social proof radar. We looked at the cans and thought, hey, if all the cool people at this club are drinking this weird new Austrian energy drink, I probably should be too.
And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate magic trick of marketing. On one hand, you have the 1994 reality. Red Bull was a relatively new, largely unknown brand with a very small actual consumer base in these new markets. They simply didn't have the sales volume to genuinely fill the streets with empty cans organically. There was no way. But on the other hand, you have the perceived reality. Everyone is drinking it. Red Bull essentially built a bridge over the chasm of their own obscurity using literal garbage. They completely skipped the years of slow organic growth it usually takes to become popular, and simply manufactured the end result of popularity for everyone to see. They faked it until they made it, but they did it on a really tangible physical level.
Which brings us to a really important question for you to take away from this explainer today. What does the modern digital equivalent of empty cans in the street look like right now? Because brands today, they don't need to physically throw aluminum cans on the sidewalk to trick our sense of social proof. They have the internet. So as you scroll through your feeds today, I want you to look closely. Are those thousands of comments real, or are they digital empty cans left by a bot farm? Is that trending hashtag a genuine organic movement, or is it fabricated evidence designed to make you believe everyone is talking about it? The tactics might have moved from the pavement to the pixel, but the psychological manipulation, that illusion of popularity, is exactly the same. Keep your eyes open, and I'll see you in the next explainer.